Welcome to the Life Malcolm Show. Uh, my name is Life Malcolm, and we're right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star, and the biggest star is you. Want to first off just say I really want to appreciate DJ CEO and Mrs. DJ CEO, aka Tampa Bay Tammy, for making this platform possible. Making In Touch News a viable outlet for these programs and allowing myself to have a few moments to get on here and kick it with y'all. Uh, it's gonna be another light program. Uh, so you can stick around without trepidation. Uh, we're going to talk about a few things in the beginning that a little heavy, so to speak, as people say it. By the way, I just offered up my deep and profound appreciations for DJ CEO and Tampa Bay Tammy Johnson, who make In Touch News and this Life Malcolm show possible. But I also have to give a big shout out to the superstar that makes this whole thing look good, sound good, and that's my super duper producer, DJ A&A, doing her thing. One day we're gonna have her as a guest, but the problem is if she is on this side, she can't be on that side, and so we're gonna figure it out one day, because y'all need to see the super producer who makes all the magic happen. But yeah, okay, so here we go. Look, so I want to talk briefly about a couple of things before I bring on our guest for the evening. Yeah, we got a guest this week. Yeah, we got a guest, and the guest is Candy Lowe, and we're gonna get into that. But I know, I know y'all excited just by the name, but let me bring y'all back down just a little bit. I know y'all like, cause see, I knew if I said Candy Lowe was on the show, y'all wasn't gonna want to hear nothing else. So, but I had to tell you, I couldn't keep it in. But yeah, so things we want to talk about: Super Bowl. Congratulations, I guess. We got to see uh, history. Like that's pretty dope. That right here in this city, the oldest guy ever won the Super Bowl. I think that's correct. And the guy who won the quarterback who won the most Super Bowls won the Super Bowl. And what else? Like yeah, it was in the city. The Super Bowl was in the same city that a Super Bowl team played in. All that kind of stuff. So it was a moment of history that merits some recognition, and so we definitely want to appreciate that. At the same time, I do want to say that I wish that those of us who watch the Super Bowl with some excitement and appreciation for history maintained that kind of energy all the time when it comes to significant events in our city. And so that's a segue. Like, I know if I can't get on the Life Malcolm show and not say nothing about the Super Bowl, so I don't even really want to talk about it, but I had to say something about it, so I'm connecting it to this. And the main thing is history, significant events in our city are important, and we ought to talk about it and have big DJ cut the music. We have a caller already. See, look, that's why I didn't want to say Candy Lowe name right up front, but that's okay. Caller, come in. All right. Caller, you got I can't hear you. You got to come in. All right, so while we waiting on the caller to come in, speaking of history, I get that from Jetty B. Wiles Jr. I remember when he was on radio station and he did this show called the Citizens Report, and when when the caller would call in, he said, caller, come in. And so, yeah, man, so I'm really big on history, and I appreciate that. And I probably, I don't know, I'm biting. That's what they call it, biting. I'm biting, but it's worth biting, man. JB was a caller, come in. So it seems like we lost the caller, but caller, come back. How about that? But yeah. So I had to say something about the Super Bowl just because I know that's what y'all expected. But I want to tie it into this. Man, Tampa has so much good stuff going on. Unfortunately, we don't publicize it enough, get behind it, and energize it enough, and we working on changing that. I'm happy to say that I'm with a sister tonight who is a pioneer, an ambassador, a warrior for that precise change. So we're gonna talk about that. But there's something else I wanted to talk about too. Yeah. So last time when I talked about my grandmother raised me, I just kept talking about that, and some calls I think came in. Yeah, one of my aunties called in and threw me off, and not threw me off, but just kind of like my little schedule. I didn't get a chance to share some things with y'all that I wanted to, and then of course last week I had the beautiful and beloved babies with me. Well, not babies, young ladies. They almost 6 feet tall, hard to call them babies. But anyway, so I didn't get to circle back. But just kind of on the fun side of things, I wanted to tell y'all, so my grandmother used to say some stuff. My grandmother raised me. She used to say some things that I wanted to share with y'all, because I say them. History. Like I say, I be circling back just like I do with JDB. I do it with my grandmother. So my grandmother used to say things like, "I'll be back directly." And so, you got to imagine, I'm 5, 6 years old, what have you, and I'm thinking she's saying she is going to be back directly, THE, I guess, RECKLY, directly. And, I knew it means she was coming right back. I knew it meant she was coming right back, but I really didn't understand what I didn't know the meaning. I couldn't, I'd be back directly, right, is what I heard. Because you got to keep in mind, my grandmother had false teeth and stuff like that. And sometimes she would, well, no. Caller, hold on. We're going to get you in just a second. Stay there. Can we hold them? Okay, stay there, caller. We're going to get you. I want to finish this. And so, she just said directly, but she meant what she was saying directly. I'll be back directly. And, so yeah, directly. And she also be like, such things like, oh, hot tomato nose. And I didn't know I was like, what does that mean? Hot tomato nose. But it meant God Almighty knows. And so that's how some of y'all read the Bible. Y'all hear the words, but y'all don't really understand it. But okay, we got the caller. Can we get the caller in? All right, caller, come in. You're on the Life Malcolm Show, In Touch News, where everybody is a star. And right now, you're the biggest star, caller. Come in. All right. We gonna get right back there. I got some more grandma stories. So grandma also used to say, I'll be back directly. I'll be back, what she said, hot tomato nose. And, well, let me tell you this. One time my grandma said, damn. And my mama didn't believe it because it was a cat on the on the porch in the rocking chair. And my grandmother and I came home, and that was clear. I knew exactly what she said and exactly what she meant. And I told my mom, I said, Grandma, I said, damn. I probably didn't say that, because I couldn't say it at the time. But my mother, when I told her that, my grandmother said, I probably spelled it, back in them days, you had to say, I probably said, Grandma said the word, like that the beavers build. So I probably had to say something like that to get the message across to my mother. And she's like, no, she didn't say that, But, Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up, man. My grandmother raised me, man, and left me with so many good memories. Okay, all right, so that's that. On to something more current. Unfortunately, we talked a bit ago. I think it was last week. We talked about Kevin. Was that last week? We talked about Kevin and Kevin Desir. So breaking news. We had a 5-hour hearing today at 10 o'clock. So for like 5 hours, we were in court, struggling with Broward County Sheriff's Council about this video that Broward County Sheriff's office is determined to conceal from the public. We had a small victory, though. And when I say we, I mean Acelia Law Firm. One time for my man Jeremy McClymont, Esquire, and Acelia Law Firm. And also it's worth mentioning Greg Lara and Lauren Curry Law Firm, who are working on this. But also, can we pull up a picture? I had a meeting this past weekend, and so this is this case has gotten some national attention. Some people are looking at it, and one of those people that I had an opportunity to talk with, who's with us in this case, is Attorney Benjamin Crump. Y'all know who he is. Some people call him like the 21st century Johnny Cochran, the new Thurgood Marshall. They got a lot of good monikers for this brother, but one thing that's for sure is that Attorney Benjamin Crump is a heavyweight in this legal game right now, especially in the legal struggles a lot of African people face when bandits kill us. Usually he's in the forefront of the discussion regarding bandits with badges, and I know that you've heard me talk about bandits without badges, bandits with badges, but what I've never talked about this category of bandits with badges behind bars. And that's what this case is about with Kevin Desir. And that's Kevin spelled the normal way, Kevin, and Desir is spelled Desir. You should Google that name. And there are petitions and other things out there that you can sign on to, and other ways that you can participate in getting justice for Kevin, and you should. Like I said, this ain't no small thing, man. It's getting national attention. And today, Acelia Law Firm and the Desir family, and even us, when I say us, I'm talking about the public at large, African people in this country at large, won a small victory because now the court has decided, and I think the story's already in the news, so you can see that as well. The court has decided that the law firm, the lawyers who are struggling for justice for Kevin, can see the tape, can see the video. We can see the video, and our experts can see the video. So as a matter of fact, man, I don't know if y'all know, man, let me tell you how the state works, man. The state is nasty, all the time. And the state is oppressive, state is just nasty. And so at one point, the sheriff's office, Broward County Sheriff's Office, said that we could see the video, and then when the family held a press conference let me say it better. The Broward County Sheriff's Office said that our medical examiner, could see the video for the purposes of the autopsy to make the best thorough report he could, and so that was a thumbs up. But then when the family held a press conference demanding that the Broward County Sheriff's Office just show the video to the public, and we're not asking for them to show us the in, the out, the up, the down, the key code and all that. No, we just want to know, just see the video, know what happened to Kevin in those moments before he ended up in bad shape before being shipped out. And so they said, okay, the medical examiner could see the video, but then when we held the press conference, they turned around and reneged on the premise. And so so this victory today, even though we didn't get exactly what we wanted, which was to get the video out to the public at large, because this is an important thing this is an important matter of public concern. But we do now have the ability to see the video, and our experts do as well. So that's good. That's a victory. Thumbs up for the people. All right. Got to go to break. I really appreciate y'all being here. This is the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star, and you the biggest star, especially when you call in at 813-444-9588. DJ gonna take us to break though, and we'll talk to you in just a couple of clicks of the clock.
This brutal weather that we experience every year in Florida leaves hundreds of residents needing repairs to their property. If your home has been damaged or needs remodeling, leave it to the professionals. Call Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing at 813-238-6197. That's 813-238-6197. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing have been serving the community for 43 years. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing is a proud sponsor of Jazz at Miss Connie's house.
We back right here in Touch News, the Life Malcolm Show. I really appreciate you tuning in. And with no further ado, I will not keep y'all away from the gracefulness of this glorious superpower that I have the privilege of sitting next to. She really needs no introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. It's my time to shine, is on the introduction. This woman right here has for years been dedicated to the African community, and she might call it something else, but we y'all know what we do here. We call it the African community. She has been, I almost blew it. I need to get my introduction again. She has been a stalwart, statuesque representation of everything black people need to see in the Tampa Bay community, starting with Candy Lowe Tea Time. That's how it started. It was just a little something over there at the Harbor Club. Some of y'all know about the Harbor Club over there in the Springs. One time for the Springs, and one time for the Italians who burned it down, got the insurance money. And and so after Candy Lowe Tea Time, it moved on. She built this thing called Tea and Conversation, and at first it was just an opportunity for Africans to come through, sit together, and talk about different things. When I tell you different things, there was some different things in the discussion. We talked about all kinds of things at Tea and Conversation, and we used to say anyway. And the thing about Tea and Conversation, it had to move around sometimes because venues couldn't stay open, but or for whatever reason couldn't. I shouldn't say for some reason, but sometimes just couldn't contain because Tea and Conversation outgrew the venue, and so. But this sister kept on keeping on, making sure that Tea and Conversation happened. Now Tea and Conversation has political relevance, and people who run for political office in this city pay to come. I remember when we used to almost have to pay people to come. But and not only the Tea and Conversation, so for Candy Lowe Tea Time, Tea and Conversation, then the sister built this thing called the Black Business Bus Tour. And if you don't know about the Black Business Bus Tour, shame on you. It's people across the country are biting the idea, duplicating what this sister has done in the Tampa Bay community. Many black businesses in this community are businesses in this community are flourishing because of the work of this sister, bringing attention, not just attention to those black businesses, but actually bringing people to the business. You know what I mean? Like filling up buses. I remember when it was a van. You know, and some I ain't gonna even talk about them Negroes, like, but yeah, you know, just when it was a van, when we used to have to beg a van to let it come on, you know. But then, you know, this sister did so much work, hard work, and I'm talking a long time. I need to get to her, but she did so much. It's just an incredible story. She did so much hard work, man. We started filling up not just one bus. When I'm talking about a bus, I'm talking about a bus, like a Greyhound bus, and then we got 2 buses, and you know, I mean, just an incredible thing. And so now, all over the city of Tampa and in several places around the world, the sister is recognized for this hard work. I am going to stop talking right now and let her get on the mic. Y'all show some love for the one and the only Candy Lowe. Y'all clap it up. I'm gonna clap. You know, clap it up for Candy Lowe. Candy, how you doing?
Thank you so much, Life, for having me on the Life Malcolm show. I'm so happy, you know, when you were talking about Brother Jetty B. Wiles. We were on Jetty B. Wiles' show together on a number of occasions, and we had the running joke of when Jetty would say, "Caller, come in," and sometime he'll say, "Caller, I see you, caller," and the caller will have to hold on another 10 minutes before he got to him.
Yeah, right.
So we've had a long history together, and you can talk about my history probably as good as I can, or well as I can, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Black History Month, supporting our community, supporting black businesses, and you're absolutely right. We had a van, we had one bus, we had a few people, we had tea and conversation, and Reverend Dixon would say, we need to put something out there and ask the people to give us money.
Yeah.
Dr. Carl Warren during that time.
Dr. Carl.
Asking the same thing. How we gonna get through another tea and conversation and getting people together? Eddie Adams during that time, because you were at the first bus tour, you were at the first tea and conversation was every Saturday. Now it's every second and fourth Saturday, but during that time it was every Saturday, and you were there for probably every one. We didn't have a conversation without you and so many other people during that time. Of course, Sister Connie Burton and so many other people. Sister Michelle Williams during that time. We would have some really deep conversations, and then
sometimes get on the floor and do stuff too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
We had examples of a number of different things. And Dr. Carl was a professional drawer. He would draw it out sometime. Remember those days? Those were some really, really good days. And then we would have candidates there. I don't know if you remember when we were in Seminole Heights on Henry off of Nebraska, and we would have the candidates come there, and we had all of the mayor candidates come through.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty interesting during that time.
I remember one time, I believe it was Tea and Conversation. If it wasn't Tea and Conversation, it sprang from Tea and Conversation. But we went over to the Jerk Hut when Robert Francis Buckhorn was running for mayor, and we had this whole buffet. And I think that's the first time he ever had curry in his life, and he looked like he acted like he liked it. But I remember when he came to Tea and Conversation.
Yes.
And he being Robert Francis Buckhorn, and that was in my mind, if I can recall, the first time having a candidate like that on the I don't know if you call it this, but I'm gonna call it having him in the hot tea. We had him in the hot tea,
yes.
And he said, "What you gonna do for black people?"
Yes,
and he said he wasn't gonna do nothing. That's what he said. Said he was gonna be everybody mayor, and I was like, as a matter of fact, I asked the question. I brought the hot tea that day, and I was, man, what you gonna do? But I'm just saying, like, it's been that long ago,
yes.
that Candy Lowe Tea Time and Tea and Conversation has been in existence. What made you? And listen, I gotta for our audience, and listen, audience, call in. My producer said I had to be better at coming up with ways to make y'all call in and compel y'all to call in, and I do. but I just got to get better at it. I thought having this super duper guest on with me might help. So please prove me right. Call in 813-444-9588. But so I know a lot of the answers to these questions. Okay, you know what? I ain't caller. Come in. How about that? Caller. Caller. Hallelujah. Caller. All right. So while we waiting on the caller, working on the caller, I know for the audience, I have to do this because I know a lot of the answers to these questions, but I want them to know. So I just got to prompt you. So don't be like, why you ask me that? Well, I'm asking you because so trying to do the good podcast hosting. So Candy Lowe, what inspired you to do this thing every Saturday that you call Tea and Conversation? How did that come about?
Well, after the Black Business Bus Tour would return back, we would have people sit outside my tea shop in the foyer area, and we had a table, and we would just have just basic conversation. I think we just stumbled up on it because people would just hang around, and we would just talk about some of everything under the sun. And during that time, when we started, we were not talking about religion or politics at all when we started.
I remember it was banned.
Yes, because it started fights. Yeah. Literally, people would get upset about it and walk away, and I didn't want that. I wanted people to stay, and as time went on, I think during the time with Eddie Adams.
Caller, Candy, can we talk? Yeah, caller, come in.
I am here, Bill.
How you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. What's your comment, your question? We on the air with Candy Lowe. What you got to say? Tell us your name. So, tell us your name so we know who we're talking with.
This is Dee Wilson with Impact Business and Professional Magazine.
Okay.
And I'm calling because Candy Lowe, as you know, is very, very significant to the Black community, as well as all of Tampa. And I just wanted to make sure that she's always recognized and appreciated. And I'd like to know what is on her agenda for the next few months while the pandemic is going on.
What is on my agenda for the next 10 months? Miss D. Wilkins, you know how I do it. You know how I hold things close to my chest, and when I feel comfortable to release, I normally do that. We have penciled in for the Black Business Bus Tour to go out and tour with and support Black businesses in April. So we have that penciled in, and we're expecting to do a big mega business expo that's coming up. So we have that penciled in, but I'm still, after watching this past weekend with the Super Bowl, so many people out and about, I want to make sure that we keep people safe during our Black Business Bus Tour, in spite of seeing so many people was out on buses. I mean, I saw so many buses and so many people on them, so we want to make sure we keep people safe.
All right, Ms. D. Wilkins, thank you so much for that call and that question. So Candy, you just said that we would start talking after the Black Business Bus Tour, and that's how Tea and Conversation started. But I recall, I mean, my recollection of it could be wrong, but I remember Tea and Conversation before the bus tour.
Correct.
Okay.
When you say that, I remember Uncle Ed says that as well.
Okay.
I just give a reference to 06 after the bus tour, because you're absolutely right. Tea and Conversation started way before that.
Yeah.
At the shop, we would have tea tasting Friday nights.
Okay.
David Winston was over. So many people. Matter of fact, you brought him over, and so many other people during that time.
We have another caller. Let me. Can we jump to that?
Absolutely.
You got the Life Malcolm Show jumping. Caller, come in.
Peace and love.
What's going on, caller? How you doing?
It's wonderful. Can you hear me clearly?
No, it's kind of rough. I think it's on our side though, but I can.
Let me see. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah. No, like I said, you don't have to make any adjustments. Just maintain where you are. We're working it on our side. But yeah, just what's going on?
Well, I wanted to jump in and say peace and love. This is your brother Kyle Jackson. I just want to tell my brother Life, my sister Candy, I'm so proud of y'all. It's so good to see y'all together on the show. I'm watching here live on Facebook. I'm sharing on social media.
That's what's up.
And I think that your show, Life, excellent. As always, you continue to empower the people. I loved last week when you played the chairman. And at the beginning of the show, I think that's going to be a part of your ongoing show. And Candy, I'm so proud of you. I can't say it on enough platforms, not only for what you did with Teen Conversation, which is where y'all are in the conversation presently, but for all of the wonderful things that you have done for Black businesses throughout Tampa Bay and for my business directly. Like, I've been honored to be a part of the Black Business Bus Tour multiple times, and so I wish continued success. I just wanted to chime in and tell y'all both that I love y'all.
That's DJ I Am, a.k.a. Kyle Jackson.
Kyle Jackson.
So, DJ I Am and I started this thing called Straight Up Poetry together. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for him, we couldn't have jumped it off like we did. I mean, Straight Up Poetry became the biggest, most successful premier spoken word event in the city, and as far as I can tell, remains to hold that record. Yeah, so I'm really glad that you called in. It was a perfect way to make it to our break. DJ I Am, Kyle Jackson. That's what we do. If we get older, we start saying like whole name, government names. So anyway, DJ, I appreciate you, man. Ain't nothing but love, and we'll talk in the future. All right, all right, brother. I got to run to this break.
Yes, sir.
Candy Lowe, we'll be right back with the rest of the story. Okay.
Much love, Kyle Jackson.
All right, take us to break, DJ. Oh, caller, hold on. We're going to come back at you. Hold on, caller. We just got to go to this break.
In Touch Radio. Joel Sylvain and Kevin Carr. And we're power moves with celebrities, athletes, influential executives. Share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Come join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Power Moves on Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Oh, Lord. So, welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, www.intouchnews.com. You can check us out on Facebook, check us out on YouTube. Go to In Touch News on Facebook. Go to Candy Lowe on Facebook. I think she's sharing it. Go to my Facebook. You can catch it there as well. And I think we got a call. We still got the caller. The caller's still there. If the caller's still there, we can bring the caller in. Everybody want to talk to Candy Lowe. Caller, come in. Caller, are you there? Yeah, come in.
Hello.
Yes, caller.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Go ahead. Tell us your name and go ahead with your comment or question.
Donald Dowridge, Frederick Douglass, DLD.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Frederick Douglass, Donald Dowridge?
Donald Aldridge.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm in the game, brother. How are you?
I'm fantastic,
Thank
man.
you so much for tuning in, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
No doubt. I was tuning in, and I did talk to your guest earlier. How you doing, Candy Lowe?
Good to hear from you, Donald Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to give a shout out. The nature of the call is just to recognize Candy Lowe and the Black Business Tour, and to publicly thank her for opening the door for me to be a part of the bus tour and to be a captain. It's such an honor, and I am humbled that over the last few years that each time, Candy, you put it in your heart to invite me back each time, and I hope I didn't disappoint you on each ride that we took. It's been a total honor, and I'm humbled. Life,
Yo,
if
yes,
you
sir.
got life, if you got life, I'm just going to say this, man. I am so proud of you, man. I mean, I've seen, your trials and your tribulations, and I've also seen your jubilations of how you come through, how you land on your feet, and you didn't just land back on your feet. You landed on your feet with helicopters, all right? I just made that word up. That means that, instead of just hovering around, you moving in directions that's going to take you even higher on different planes that you had already been on. So I want to salute you, and also note that, Brother Life, my nephew was here this weekend, and he was on an interview, and I told him, I said, when you're in the interview, make sure you mention the fact that here in Tampa, you was on you got an opportunity to speak on the Black on Black Rhymes with Life and Jenny. And I said, do you remember that? He said, yeah, I remember those brothers. Yeah. All right. So, brother, you in the hearts, you're doing great things. And, dude, I'm there with you. I salute you. Just take me back to the 1968 Olympics. I'm standing on the top row with my fist up in the air. All right? More power to the brother.
Man, Donald, I appreciate that so much, man. It's so good to hear from you. And your words, I hear the iron in your words, and I appreciate that call so much, man. Candy Lowe, we only got an hour, and we ain't got that much left right now, so we could talk about the history enough. Let's just talk about we could talk about history all night, but let's kind of move forward. So how do you feel when you hear callers like Donald call in? Caller, we gonna get you. I'm gonna ask this question and get an answer. But Candy, Candy, how do you feel when you hear people like Donald call in and say those kinds of things about the work you've done in the community?
I am very humbled when Donald and others call in on other shows, call me, text me, ask me. Very humble of it all. Like,
but it's well deserved.
Of it all.
It's well deserved.
Yeah.
All right. We got the caller?
Yeah.
All right, caller, come in.
Hey, what's going on, Life?
What's going
How
on,
you doing,
caller?
Miss Lowe?
Go ahead and say your name, and, say hello to Candy Lowe and say what you got to say.
This is Joe from Tampa. I just want to say,
Joe, what's up? This my dude right here, man. What's up, Joe? You got to be a guest on the show. When can I get Joe on the show? What's up with that? But anyway, that's another. Yeah, we'll talk later about that. But go ahead, man. I jumped in. Say hello to Miss Candy Lowe and say what you got to say, brother.
I just want to say, Miss Lowe, you're a blessing to the whole region, not just Hillsborough County, St. Pete, Pinellas, Pasco, and the things you do for the community is just wonderful. There's a lot of places I don't even go to if they, never against the white people. If they have any black owned, I don't even associate with them. And you introduced me and my family to that Blue Flame restaurant. I think I went there like 4 times last week. I've been tearing it up. But I just want to say you're just such a blessing to me, and I really appreciate it. Not even know you, and I love you. But take it easy, Miss Love.
Thank you so much, Joe. Love you too, brother. Keep doing what you do and share with others about our black businesses in our city. And those that are listening know that Tampa may be leading the country in supporting black businesses, and we do it effortlessly. We do it because it's the right thing to do. We do it because we know we have to help save our small black-owned businesses here in the city of Tampa. We do it because it is just it's just the right thing to do. I'm also so excited, Life, because we have not just people look like us on the buses. I have to say this all the time because of all of the years of doing it. We have other people that ride on the buses as well. effortlessly and wanting to be on the bus and share on their pages about the Black Business Bus Tour and the stores that they've gone to. I watch every single week someone posts on their page that they went to a Black-owned business. I get literally every single day someone message me on Facebook or text me about a Black-owned business, wanting a Black-owned business, looking for a Black-owned business. As today, wanting a business attorney, and I referred them to Alicia Fitt, that talks about you often. Yeah, talks about you often. And remember poetry back in the day. So I get that often, someone looking for a Black-owned business, which means to me that we are growing, which means to me that we may be leading the country in supporting Black-owned businesses here in the Tampa Bay area.
So, you've heard the expression that misery loves company.
Sure.
Yeah, success don't mind company either. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so, when you say that all these things are happening, these things aren't just happening in the abstract. I'm a firm believer that you had something to do with it, and so right now, we've got the colonial virus going on. For those of y'all just tuning in, I believe that colonialism, when I say just tuning in, I mean just tuning in to the Life Malcolm Show for the first time. But it's a good time to say that this is the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star, and you're the biggest star, especially when you call in. But like I'm saying, what y'all call the coronavirus, I don't know what corona, I don't know nothing about that, the COVID-19. But what I do know is colonialism been a problem for all our life, so we call it the colonial virus. So you know what I mean when I say that. So in the era of the colonial virus, how has a Black Business Bus Tour and Tea and Conversation and your other endeavors managed throughout that process?
That's been a question that I get quite often. Of course, last year our 3 bus tours that was scheduled, we had to postpone those bus tours, and we did a drive through the park supporting the Black-owned businesses. We had a couple of network events supporting Black business, some mini expos down at Al's Finger Licking Good. So I just had to shift and be creative in other ways to continue to put out about supporting Black-owned businesses. Also encouraging people to go to Visit Tampa Bay Black-owned business list, which In Touch posts your show, and everybody's shows are on there. And I encourage everyone to go to the shows and watch them as well. So I have just had to shift the way that I normally do and just keep running, keep pushing the ball as hard as I can. I live and breathe Black businesses each and every day for whatever reason. Some people think I'm absolutely nuts, but I won't be on 43rd and can't get out, that's for sure, without doing what my mission is, and that is talking about, encouraging, and supporting Black businesses and bringing awareness to the Black-owned businesses here in the city of Tampa and throughout the region of our state and throughout the state of Florida and also in other states in our country.
So, Kenny Lowe, you are, from what I can tell, a regular listener of the Life Malcolm Show.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite part?
Brother, I like it when you get to, because let me tell you, Life. Let me tell you.
We got to go to break. We got to say it right quick. I'm leading into something. What's your favorite part?
Well, my favorite part is when you get to the word.
Okay.
The word of the word. I like that part right there because I think you're absolutely brilliant on all of that. And I think you probably was the first person that started doing live videos. Because I started in 2017.
Sure
but I think you were the first one because I used to watch you all the time. What, about 5-7 years ago, or whenever the heck it was.
Yeah, it's been about. Yeah. So I wanted to say that because we got to get to the word, and you're going to lead the way.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. So we gonna Candy Lowe. When we get back from break, y'all, it's on the Life Malcolm Show, it's a word from the word. led by Candy Lowe. Candy Lowe is always talking about how I break it down, but what we gonna do, Candy? You gonna give me something from the Bible, and then I'm gonna break it down.
All right now.
Yeah. So go ahead. I mean, I don't care if you got to Google it or whatever, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna give the audience something. I don't care. I'm ready. I'm ready tonight to do that thing. All right, y'all. This right here on the Life Malcolm Show, In Touch News. Stay tuned. Call in 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. Right here on In Touch News, man. We'll be right back. Life Malcolm Show.
I want to go to Romans.
In Touch Radio, the most loved station across the nation. In Touch Radio. Tell a friend. In Touch Radio.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. It's a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
All right. So we're back. The last break for the Life Malcolm Show. This edition has, for the most part, featured superstar, in my view, the Black Business Ambassador. We're gonna talk about her for many years. You know, maybe even more years than she will live. But we're gonna talk about her for many years because of the work that she's done. Candy, before we jump into a word from the word, I put together this calendar before. What was this thing called? I can't remember. I had a name for it.
Black History.
Yeah, the Tampa. I think it was called the Tampa Black History Calendar or something like that. And so before I was ready for such a tremendous response, I put it together, and but I knew it was an important thing to do. And of course, you were on the calendar. Can you say something about what if anything it means? I mean, because recently, and I think as a matter of fact, I think it's because you posted it as like a memory or something, because it ain't supposed to come out till the end of the month. But you posted something, and since then, man, people just been, what's up with the calendar? Where can I get a calendar?
I went back and liked it. I went back and commented and liked it, and it brought it back into circulation on the timeline. But when I initially saw it, I was just happy that you thought of me to put me on the calendar, and so many other people that was on there. Most of them I knew, and knew the work that they had done in the community, and I was just very honored to be a part of your first calendar. Made me so happy.
I mean, you absolutely deserved it. I mean, earned it. I couldn't. I had to pick. Last year was a leap year, so it had 29 days, and I had to find 29 people, and I could not imagine putting out that type of historic information without including you. Because of the work you've done. So I hope that it was important to you. I see it was, because you shared it, and it seems to be important to other people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this year's calendar looks like. If you got some suggestions, I need to let you know. All right. So Candy Lowe, this is a rapid fire biblical breakdown. A word from the word. Now, Candy Lowe, so what do you want me to break down today for the people?
Okay, what I want you to break down, my favorite is Romans 28.
Okay.
And we're going to use the King James Version.
All right. She sounding like she got a Baptist background. Okay. All right. Go ahead. You gonna read it?
Okay. You want me to read it? Okay.
Well, yeah, Candy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they want to hear your voice.
Okay, we're at Romans 8:28, King James Version. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the calling according to his purpose.
All right. That's not how I remember it. My grandmama must have read it to me because I thought it said all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and those. I don't know. My grandma, she might have had it wrong. Okay, all right, but let me see. Okay, all things work together for good. So in my mind, Candy Lowe, that means that we have a role in how things work out in our lives. And if our focus is right, then the outcome will be all right. You dig? So let's break that all. Now we know all things work together for good. So I'm gonna tell you now. So I've been on something lately. I don't, I'm not really big into spiritual, not spiritual. I mean, I'm into that, but I'm not really big into this idea of supernatural and this, outside of our control kind of idea. And so I've been trying to understand the Bible, but the Bible has been important to me for a long time. So I've been trying to, reconcile this discrepancy I have with the Bible and this idea of supernatural and stuff out of our control. For example, like angels, the angel of the Lord came and told Joseph that Jesus was that his wife was finna have a baby from somebody else, and I'm like. And so it say an angel of the Lord, but maybe it, because you got Lord, like landlord, stuff like. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to read and understand, and interpret about. So maybe the Lord is just like the name or a title of somebody in control and authority. Somebody. So I'm saying, okay, Lord, and then they say the angel of the Lord, come through and say this kind of stuff. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's not necessarily the angel of the Lord, but the agent of the Lord, somebody like, an ambassador for the Lord, somebody on the Lord, because that's what an angel is, right? But until we put wings and wigs on them and all that kind of stuff, so it could just be an agent of the, so that's kind of helping me understand the scripture a little better, like when the agent of the Lord shows up and say, hey, the Lord say that don't worry about your wife having this baby from this, this other entity, you know what I mean? I can see how the agent of the Lord could pull that off, right? So now all things work together. So I got to put the God thing in perspective. So in my mind, I'm thinking, still material things, not so much I like it just work together for good out the blue. But if there's an African proverb that says rats don't dance in the cat's doorway. So, you do that kind of stuff, it ain't gonna work out good. But when you work in concert with leadership, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna work out for you. That's what the scripture's saying to me, and because it says a purpose, according to the purpose, right? So when you we don't necessarily have to believe, because a lot of people believe in different gods are called God by different names, and sometimes have different versions of the Bible, etc. But this thing right here, that scripture means to me that all things will work out for those of us who are okay with following leadership for a purpose. Yeah. We got to follow the leadership. All work together. Yeah, and it's not that kind of thing where people say stuff like everything happened for a reason. Like that's goofy to me. You know what? Because every time they say that, I say, well, what's the reason? And they can't tell me. Some people used to say stupid stuff to me, like about my son is in a better place, right? But their ass ain't trying to go. I mean, like, why you ain't trying to go to the better place? You know, if he in the better place, why you ain't trying to go? So it's not that kind of idea. It's but nah, all things work together for good. So the reason why I brought up that whole Lord story is like, so sometimes when I'm reading God in Scripture, because I'm still learning, I'm looking at God, because like we the original people, we the original black business, we the original business. We some people will say that we are God. As a matter of fact, I think it's a scripture, a couple of scriptures in the Bible that say ye are gods. I think Jesus said it. Ye are gods, and so maybe. All things work together that love gods. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I'm thinking that when people have a purpose and they working together for the good of leadership, things will work out. So that's how I'm internalizing that. What you think?
I like that. I mean, I like the way you break down scripture. Period.
What you think about the agent of the Lord?
I like the agent of the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, cause look, man, I remember when what's that brother name? Michael Xavier Johnson in Texas. I think Texas. Yeah, remember he was killing all them white people that night.
Yes.
And they were like, all the police. They were like, it's people everywhere. He over here, he over there, but it was just one person. Even in the script, because they talk about the angel got two wings on his feet, two wings on all this kind of stuff. White people look at us and see us as amazing and describe us in all kinds of ways. And so they might just been looking at us when they were writing these scriptures and coming up with these magnificent descriptions of us, but really we were just agents of the original man, of the God, of the Lord, and when we showed up and say, hey, you gonna have to deal with this situation with your wife, don't say nothing, but it's your baby. No matter what, it's the spirit or what, the agent of the Lord can do that because he come in with flaming swords and, all this kind of stuff,
You top the town, brother.
Yeah, no, you top the town. This has been, all right, okay, what's next? So what's the next scripture? We might not have enough time to look it up because I know we running down.
Give me one that one that your mom liked. Give me one that your mom liked. I know she loves a lot of.
Yeah, she liked the one about it had something to do with. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you break it down.
Oh, I don't know how to break those things down like you.
All right. Well, so early on, I thought that meant you had to beat your children. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Like if you didn't beat them, like physically, then they would end up somehow spoiled. And I'm sure that my parents thought that too. They was gonna make sure I was not spoiled. But yeah. And so in my view, there's a rod that is in the tongue or in the mouth at least. There's a scripture that says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So the tongue can do things. And there's something else in the Bible, I can't remember right now, but it's something that indicates that there's some kind of rod of correction that don't necessarily have to do with an extension cord. But yeah, so I'm having flashbacks. But this, yes, so we can use this tongue as power, as a rod, and correct our children so that we do not spoil them. So we should not spare the rod of correction. Because, there's a scripture that says that there's foolishness bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it out.
Yes. We have a couple minutes.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of one of the Black Business Bus Tours early on in 2006. We had a conversation on the bus about spanking children, hitting children, sparing the rod. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah. You were in the conversation.
Yeah, probably started it.
Yeah.
I'm 100% against that, and So, all right, Candy. One day we just gonna have to come here and do black business. I mean, this was just a busy week, with attorney Benjamin Crump on the scene, helping us with the Kevin DeSere case, and had to say something about the Buccaneers winning Super Bowl. But you are the biggest champion in this community, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to black businesses. And so I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to stop by. Can people see the shirt, man? Show them what's going on.
You taught me
It's the
well.
It's the Black Business Bus Tour. This is the Black Business Ambassador. My sister, love her deeply and greatly and forever appreciate her. Candy Lowe never hesitates to pick up the phone. As long as even when I was away, she would check on me. When I say away, I wasn't in prison. It felt like it though, Anyway, but when I was away, man, Candy Lowe, never stopped checking on me, always showed love. And, even though she has blossomed from just the meager beginnings of Tea and Conversation on the Harbor Club to now a nationally recognized ambassador of black business, she still makes sure that I have access, and that's so super cool, and I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to the next time we get together, and hopefully we can do it again on the Life Malcolm Show. DJ CEO, Tampa Bay Tammy, thank you so much. Thank you, In Touch family. DJ A&A, I appreciate you so much for rocking with me and making me sound good, look good, helping us feel good, bringing the callers in. Callers, thank y'all so much. This was super dope, and we'll talk again next week. To be continued. Else.